Welcome to Track Tested Motorsports. My name is Jag.
I'm Boris.
This episode is on passing, and passing seems something that's fairly simple, but it comes to be very frustrating for everybody on track. So Boris, talk to us about passing.
Great subject, Jag. Would be very pleased to talk about that, and it's something that happens, seems like at every track event. It sounds simple, but it's not, and we need to break it down to determine how to do it properly. First of all, it requires good situational awareness, actually great situational awareness. The more aware you are about your surroundings and what's going on, not only in front of you, but behind you, if you have great situational awareness, that's going to go a long ways into making passing something that you'll enjoy and the drivers that are driving with you will enjoy as well.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about situational awareness, we caught up on that on the previous episode, so check that one out as well.
Right. So one of the concepts that I actually learned from our friend Chuck Tucker is a concept of presenting oneself. So if you're the driver that's in the back and you wish to get around the car that's in front of you, you need to let that driver that's in front of you know that you'd like to do that.
And how do you do that?
I was going to say, because the driver in front of you might think that you're following them so you can observe their great driving line. So if you just stay back there, they may not realize that you wish to pass them. So what you need to do is you need to present yourself.
You mean I can't tailgate him so he knows to move out of my way? Or?
You can, but if after a lap of that it hasn't worked, you might want to try a different approach.
Okay.
And the one that Chuck calls presenting yourself works really well. So what you do is you move the car about a half a car width to the right. This is assuming that the driving line is on the left, so that driver can see you, part of you in his rearview mirror, and also the other part of you in his right view mirror.
Yeah, and something you don't want to do is this, because
Right.
I've seen this happen to me. And in this instance, I look at the mirrors. I know somebody was behind me, and then they disappear. Now I know there are cars around me somewhere, unless they went off track. So do not do this. It's not safe.
Especially if this driver has poor situational awareness. As you said, you may have already been behind him for an entire lap.
Exactly.
And he hasn't pointed you
passing, depending on what level you're at, you're not always going to pass on the straightaways. You can go into a curve as well or a turn as well, and this is not where you want to be.
Exactly, or even not here.
Yeah.
Because if this driver has poor peripheral vision, which is an important element of situational awareness, he still won't point you by. So, but to cover everything, let's assume that now, you're going down the middle of the track, and you decide that you'd rather pass on the left. So again, present yourself this way. Don't drop back. You don't want to crowd the driver and be in their blind spot, but you want to be about half a car width so they can see in your rearview mirror, and when they glance in their left mirror, they can see you there as well. And then hopefully they will do what they should be doing, which is point you by. In this case, on the left. Maybe they move over a little more and you go by. Now, the other thing we need to talk about is in a passing situation, if you're in a high horsepower car and you point someone by no means should you accelerate.
You see that happen often.
And I'm sure you'll show a clip. Well, that happened at Sebring a couple of weeks ago. Or get on the brakes.
Yeah, do not get on the brakes.
Yeah, you do want to lift slightly.
Yeah, and don't go from 100% throttle to 0.
Right.
You want to gradually lift off the throttle.
But basically, the simplest way to do it is just be predictable, stay on line, and be kind, and lift gently so this other driver can get around you. You can get back on line before the next turn. Yeah. Simple as that.
I wish everyone followed those rules, but this is some great points that Boris made. Anything else you want to cover on the passing?
Well, we talked about don't accelerate, be predictable. Well, maybe we should cover the fact that you should only point one car by at a time.
Yeah.
You may be in a slow car and a whole bunch of fast cars are coming up from behind.
And that's true. You do have to point every single one by.
Right. So whether you're pointing over the roof, like this, you need to pause each time a car goes by and then point again. Or if you're pointing to the side, same thing. Bring your arm back in and then back out for each car.
Yeah, and if you're not comfortable to let someone pass, you don't have to do this. You can wait till the next turn or the next straightaway. So make sure you're comfortable. If you feel a bit nervous, you do not have to point them by. But it's courteous. Be courteous to others, and when you're comfortable and feel safe, then let them by.
And there's a way to let the driver in front of you know that you don't want to you don't want to pass them, because perhaps the turn's coming up, and you don't want to be passing in a braking zone. So if you don't want to pass them, just go like this on top of your steering wheel. They're looking back there, and they'll see you waving it off. Just let them know, no, thank you, I don't want to pass. Similarly, if somebody does point you by, as they should, and they're pointing you by, you go by. Once you go by them, glance back there and give them a thank you wave.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be elaborate. Just give it a quick wave.
Yeah. Good sportsmanship goes a long ways in making sure everybody has fun.
Yeah, and the key to this, for driving events or track events, it's not a race. You're not going to get a trophy at the end of the day. So be safe and be mindful about your surroundings, and let each other pass.
Exactly. And one thing I mentioned at the end of the last video, but I'll mention it again because it always comes up, and that is that the fact that if you're in a fast car and has lots of horsepower, and you're driving along, and then a car appears behind you, realize it didn't magically appear there. This driver must be doing something pretty well to catch up to you, especially if this car happens to be something less horsepower. So if you see, as you're practicing good situational awareness and watching your mirrors, if you see someone in the rearview mirror, regardless of what they're driving, please point them by. They'll be a lot happier, and by following them, you may be able to learn something, and that's always a good thing.
Anything else?
I think that pretty much covers everything that we needed to finish on this episode.
With that, my name is Jag.
And I'm Boris.
And make sure if you like this content of this channel, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Thank you. We'll see you again soon.